So today was the big reveal of Battlefield 6, and I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed. So today we're just going to talk a little bit about the reveal, what I'm excited for, my concerns, all of that great stuff. So let's hop in and talk about it. So today was the big multiplayer reveal. The other day they officially announced Battlefield 6, and so far, the internet was pretty hyped because from what we've been seeing from the reveal trailer the other day, along with also the leaked gameplay, is that it looks like peak Battlefield is back. And I will be completely honest and tell you that after today's presentation, I'm actually agreeing for once. I haven't really agreed that we've gotten anything good from Battlefield or COD in a good number of years. Even as somebody that has put in a good amount of hours and days into BO6, I don't think that game is that great. I think that it has some great elements and some good stuff about it, but there's so many negative things that just make it feel so generic. But so far, Battlefield 6 looks like it's really taking things back to Battlefield 4. So I watched the whole entire presentation today. I also watched about an hour and a half of people playing it on Twitch, and I will say that I am honestly kind of hyped right now. So let's talk about the things that we know so far. Classes are back. Scoreboards are back. They are putting a big emphasis on conquest and vehicles again, and destruction. They are listening to feedback, and they are absolutely listening to what we've been telling them. We've been telling them that we haven't been happy with the maps in Battlefield 2042, that we haven't been happy with how there's no scoreboard in 2042, and it seems like they've actually listened for once. And the big controversy of 2042 came into play when the game launched and there was no scoreboard and there was no class system. And basically, it was more designed to be this thing where it was like, kind of pick your role based off of your weapons and your specialists. And, people didn't really like that. It made it more accessible, I would argue, but that doesn't mean that it's necessarily good. And Battlefield's listened and realized that that is not what people want, and we are going back to the old school. That means that we have assault, we have support, we have medic, we have the repair, and then, of course, we have scout or recon or whatever you want to call it in this game. But I am honestly pretty excited. The gameplay that we have been seeing looks very reminiscent of Battlefield 4, and they made that very clear from the start by showing us the destruction. They started off the presentation by making a joke about being able to destroy buildings in the game where they had like a fake explosion go on in the background behind them, and that really kind of made me excited. And, this is kind of a small thing, but I really feel like the team wants to do better. And the reason why I kind of think that is because, they're cursing throughout this trailer. They're cursing throughout the presentation. And I know that sounds so dumb, but the thing is that Battlefield for a couple years there was trying to be something different, right? It wasn't trying to be this gritty kind of war sim type game. It's not really a war sim, but you get the point. And a lot of us didn't like the direction that 2042 and 5 took. And it seems that they've listened and that they are actually, improving. And so I kind of felt that way from the trailers. Things look kind of nice. I'm kind of excited, right? And then they, at the time of recording this, they are still streaming over there at the Battlefield headquarters or EA headquarters, wherever they're at. It doesn't matter. And I watched about an hour and a half, and I took some notes that I want to talk about. The major thing that I want to talk about is the first thing that I noticed was that scoreboard is back. This was a big thing that was removed from 2042 and was hidden in 5. Basically, the devs felt that people were getting bullied based off of their stats, and so they took it out of the game for 2042 and they hid it in 5. It's back and it's in its full glory. You get to see your kills, your assists, your deaths. I'm very happy to report that that is back. Also, they're bringing back Portal from 2042, which was this kind of like this Forge custom games mode, and it looks better than ever. They showed off like some classic NASCAR stuff. They showed off some cool stuff. They talked about how you could, if you wanted to, you could create like a super realistic like war sim, where if you wanted to make no HUD, one shot, you're dead. And it looks really, really cool. So those were kind of the two major takeaways that I noticed right away. And gameplay wise, there was a lot to talk about. It looks a lot like Battlefield 4. It looks a lot like Battlefield 4, but just a little faster paced. And I think that that is a good change because a lot of shooters have gone towards the faster paced route over the last couple of years. We even saw it with Halo. We saw it with COD, obviously, since 2019. And, we've seen it with stuff like the finals and all these games that really, really want to be more fast paced. And I think that Battlefield is really going down that route. We're adding a feature where we can run while we crouch. We're adding a feature where we can kind of like roll out of a fall. It looks like we're speeding up the game, but not stupid fast. It looks more, natural, if that makes sense. It's not like going to be some dumb like, oh yeah, you're running around with jetpacks or anything like that. So I think that is a good change. And so far, it seems like the vehicles are getting a bigger focus. 2042 tried to get away from the vehicles, and that is one of the best parts about Battlefield 4 is the vehicles, is the jets, is the tanks, are these things. And they're back. They're back in their glory. And I'll tell you from the gameplay, they seem great. I watched Tim the Tap Man just mow people down with a helicopter earlier today, and I watched him sit in the tank. I watched people sit in the tank, and it looks really, really solid. It really looks like they are trying to represent what people like about the older Battlefield games, whether if that's 3, 4, Bad Company, 1, 5, it doesn't matter. They're trying to take it all in and get better about that, and I really appreciate that. And of course, weapons seemed nice and crispy as always. The ARs seemed nice, the shotguns seemed nice. I didn't see any LMG gameplay today, but I did see sniper gameplay, and that's one thing that I want to talk about. The sniper gameplay from today looked absolutely phenomenal. It looked a little faster paced than usual than Battlefield, and I don't think that is a bad thing. The real only concern that I saw during gameplay was the sniper glint was insane. Now, this is something that games have been doing for, 5 years at this point, where they add a glint to the sniper, so that you can't just sit in the back and then people can't figure out where you are, which is fine. Okay, I get that. But six's sniper glint is ridiculous. Like, I seen it today on stream, and it looked a little overblown. I think I really think that it should be semi-subtle, that you still need to look for it, but it shouldn't be like that. That was a little ridiculous. That was literally just practically taking up the screen, and it was very obvious. I don't know if that's going to be a setting. I don't know if that was just for this demonstration or if that is something that they're testing, but I really hope that is not the case, because to be honest, I am not really looking forward to that. I do think that snipers should have somewhat of a glint, but I don't think that is the right move. And also, it could just be the playtests that I seen today, because these are people that aren't fully experienced, and some of them are clip farming. Let's be honest. Is that the maps seemed a little empty at times. Maybe just what I saw were the really big maps, but I felt like the maps seemed a little just too big. I want them to be not small, but I don't like these very giant, ridiculous maps. It could have just been how the players were playing, but that brings me to my next point, which is that we are getting an open beta the first couple weekends of August. Here are the dates. I will be playing all of these, and the first one starts 7th and 8th, so that's Thursday and Friday of next week. I already have my beta code. I will be playing the beta, don't you worry. And then for everybody else, the open beta starts the 8th of the 9th, then they take a week off, and then we go back the next weekend, and then the final day. So look, I am very excited. I have not pre-ordered the game, and I don't know if you should, okay? I do not suggest you pre-order the game until we get our hands on the actual beta, because I can look at gameplay, right? And I can say, well, this looks good from the streamer's perspectives, but I want to actually play it before I give you my full opinions. But so far, it really looks like Battlefield is going in the right direction, and I'm really excited to see what's coming. But yeah, guys, I just kind of want to sit down, share my thoughts, and let you guys know that I will be streaming the beta starting next week, Thursday. But thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know down in the comments, are you excited for the new Battlefield? What are you looking forward to? What did you like? What did you not like? But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.